Okay, so that's the size of the box that you get the snowblower in, and that's quite the size, isn't it? I mean, you got to really manhandle that one there. It's pretty heavy. It says it's around 300 pounds. So now I got to take all the crating off, and let's see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I took the top off, and this is what we got here. Now it's tucked in there pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say so. And strapped in there. And I would say, you know, the packaging, well, top notch. Okay, so as you could see, I just peeled it right back, and took me like less than a minute. Used my Sawzall, just cut it all down the four corners, peeled it back. And to me, looks like the only thing I got to put together here is the chute and the handlebars. So I'll bring you back when I got the handlebars on. Looks like I just got to cut that strap, and away I go. Okay, so I got it in the garage, and looks pretty awesome to me. And the only thing I have to do is I have to put the chute on, connect it up here. All I had to do was just put one bolt here, one bolt there, tighten both of them up, and then I could get the handles and just pull it off of the carding. So that's it right there. So now I have to hook up all the controls, and I'll have to get the manual out and see exactly how that's done. And this is the first time I've ever got any piece of machinery shipped with the oil in it. All the ones I got in the past, well, the oil came in a container on the side. So that's it right there. I'm going to put it all together for you, and then I'm going to tell you exactly why I bought this particular unit. I mentioned it before in a video, I believe it was last year, that I needed a new snowblower. I'm going to do a comparison between the old snowblower and what this is, because this is like night and day. So I'll bring you back when this is all put together. Well, there it is, all put together. This is my global warming attack snowblower, and I'll tell you something. When you're looking for a snowblower, actually go and look and see the differences between different snowblowers, and you will see that, well, in my opinion, there was only two snowblowers to actually look at in the heavy duty design, and that was the Toro and the Arands. And this one here has got a 28-inch bucket. You can get the exact same one in Arands with a 24. Now you can't get the heavy duty series in the Toro in the 24, but I wanted the 28-inch bucket, which is only 4 inches more than what I had before. So when you're looking at a snowblower, well, the one thing I liked about the Toro and the Arands, it's all steel. There's no cheesy plastic anywhere. Well, there's some plastic, like, I mean, this is just a cover, right? And this is just a cover. Now this is the only thing that I don't believe they could have made out of steel. And this is the stick that operates. You know, you can go back and forth, up and down. And if you take a look at the chute here, you can go left, right, and up and down, all on the same stick. So I like this. Now the Arands, they had the control for moving the chute with a handle out in the front here, and I didn't like that at all. This has got no cheesy cables on it or anything. It's got a steel rod going down here to your transmission. I'm going to tilt this up, tilt the bucket up, and I'm going to show you some features that, well, actually, a lot of people don't look at because, you know, they just don't know. But I tell you something, there's some features on this that I like a lot, and one of them is it's all good fasteners. It's all good hardware. It's not cheesy screws just slapped together on the assembly line. Now, the criteria I had for picking out a new snowblower was it had to be built in North America. I realize all the powertrains, like all the engines, are built offshore. That's fine. This is a Toro designed engine built offshore, just like most other ones, including Arands. So let's tilt this up. I'll pull the belly pan off and I'll show you inside and some of the things that, well, you can do on this that you can't do on so many other machines, and that is adjustability. Okay, so I got the blower standing up on the bucket there, and I got the belly pan. One of the belly pans taken off. You could take this one off too as well, but I don't need to. But I just want to show you something. This is the transmission lever, and it's a steel rod. It's not a cable. And if we take a look at anything in here, it's all heavy duty. There's no cheap, cheesy anything on this. So if we just take a look here, and I'll try to show the best part. Okay, so if you take a look down there, right there, that's a differential. So when you're turning the wheels here, if you want to make a left or a right hand turn, it disengages on one side to the other to make it easier to turn around. I didn't want to get one of them snowblowers. It's got the little, on the handle grips, it's like a little trigger with a cable that comes down and disengages one wheel to the other side. Now, if we just take a look at that pulley wheel down there, this one right here, that's the friction wheel for your transmission. And you see, can you just see that little spot in the center there? I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll get down close. Yeah, you can see that little tiny spot in the center. Well, just off to that, where you see the wheel, that is where low gear is. And when you go to high gear, it'll go to the outside. Now, the best part about some transmissions that are fully adjustable like this one, like, I mean, take a look at the hardware. It's all bolts. There's no cheesy screws on this. And you can make the adjustment right here. It's very simple. You pull the pin out, turn it, and you make it so it'll come low. Now, when I first got this wheel here was over a little bit more, and first gear was a little bit too fast for me. I am going to demonstrate it, but what I'll do is I'll go through the gears here and I'll show you how this actually all works. Okay, so I got you set up in there, and that there is on the lowest speed. So now we'll go to number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So you could see how it went from the inside all the way to the outside. So if we go from the highest speed to the lowest speed, you see, so once you go on the other side, you're now into reverse. Now that's reverse low and then reverse high on the outside. So we got 6 gears forward and 2 gears in reverse. And I'll tell you something, the most I would expect I would probably use, except for transporting it, is 1, 2, and 3. And the other gears, really, they're only for transporting. I mean, you don't want to be running with this thing, you know, to be blowing snow. So that's it, pretty much it right there. It's very simple design. There's no cheesy parts in here. It's all heavy duty. Okay, so what you're looking at there is the underside, and this is the scraper bar, you know, that gets close to your driveway, and it is fully adjustable. It's bolted on there with some good hardware, fully adjustable. You can move it up and down, and also you get some steel skid shoes. You don't get some cheap poly skid shoes. This is, again, all fully adjustable. I haven't adjusted anything on this yet, but I wanted to go over to the tire. So this is how the tire is, and on the back side, and what do you see there? That's silver, anti-seize. And when you come to the axle, yeah, this has got anti-seize all over it. It's the first time I've seen this before, and that's exactly what I put on, is some anti-seize. Now, You put the tire on, you put the pin through, and you're done. So I mean, it's so easy to do, and you can see here, you know, the way it works. Now I want to tell you something. It doesn't work like that on Arands. I don't know why, but Arands cut a slot in the axle and has like a keyway, yeah, removable keyway that you can put in, and with a clip on the outside. And this here is far superior for me. I mean, either one, Arands or Toro, they're both great machines. But I just prefer this design. It's quick and it's easy. And so let's put the machine back up, and I'll show you the inside of the bucket, and then we'll go to the engine next, and I'll explain why you don't see too many engines like this on any snowblowers anymore. So when you go for the heavy duty classification, you get the bigger tires. These are 16-inch tires compared to the 12-inch. And if we go to the front of the bucket here, I'll show you some things. And besides getting all heavy duty hardware, no cheesy plastics anywhere, you get a heavy duty auger system. So you go from an 11-inch to a 14-inch, and if you take a look in there, they've got like paddles, and it throws the snow and the slush so it doesn't all plug up on you. Now, what I liked about this is it's all open design. This is solid, right straight across. Now, these are not shear pins. Like on, you could see that there's a, looks like a bolt in there. That just holds the these on. There is no shear pins in this machine. It will stall the machine, and you just let go of the lever and it'll stop, and that's it. There's no shear bolts. These just hold these augers on, and I thought that's just terrific. And if you take a look back there, that is a huge 14-inch impeller. So what I seen on the Arands was they only have 2 stub shafts that come off the end here, and then they attached their augers with shear pins, and to reinforce it they put some steel bracing that went up into the bucket, because this is independent, this center gear case. And I thought I liked the Toro idea better. I didn't want this reinforcements inside the bucket anywhere. I imagine it works great for Arands, but I decided I like this idea better. This is all heavy duty. You don't need any shear pins for this. It's maintenance free. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to show is, if you're taking a look at going to buy yourself a snowblower, take a look at the cord. This is an awesome heavy duty cord. You can pull the cord out at your local store and take a look and see. So many of them have these cheesy little cords. And of course this has got electric start, and you know, push button start. You just plug the extension cord into it, press the button, and away you go. But this is something many do not have, which is a throttle. This is high, this is low, this is off. Now I will tell you something. They're building a lot of snowblowers today now where there is no throttle. You start it up and it's full blast right off the hop. I had to have a fuel shut off because I don't use this. What I do is I leave it like this. I turn the fuel off. Now this is in the off position here. You just turn it to turn it on. Now what I do is, I did put some fuel in this and I did start it up. Started up, no problem. Runs like a dream. So I run out of gas and then I can tip it up. I don't do that with a float bowl full, and you can run into problems depending on the design of the carburetor, where you got the free flow of fuel running and you don't want that, right? So you shut the fuel off, and I wanted to have a fuel shut off. Now this here is just a key that comes in and out, and I never use this. This will just stay in there as it is. So there's a big arrow on here that shows choke. That's on. This is off. This is your primer. You hit this about 3 times, 4 times, and that's about it. Now, so many machines today are making the controls so small, and well, if you take a look at the Arands, it's got like a control center on top with a little knob here and a little knob there. I didn't like that at all. I like something that I can operate when you have a pair of gloves on. Now this, I don't have heated grips. I have no use for heated grips on a snowblower. If you like it, these are all optional things you can get. But I wanted to be able to move this with a pair of gloves on, this with a pair of gloves, you know, to choke off and on very easily. So let's start this up, and I'll take you out in the backyard. There's no snow, but I'll take you out in the backyard and I'll show you what it's like in the low gear and first, and how slow it'll be, and how this is just going to be like a small little bulldozer. Well, I've got it in first gear. Let's try it in first gear. I'll bring it along and then I'll show you the 2 speeds in reverse. That's the first snowblower I've ever had where you got a nice high speed in reverse. Most of the time you end up just pulling it back yourself, but you know what? I'll be using the high gear and the reverse because you know what? It's fast enough that you don't have to bother handling it. And that weighs 240 pounds. It's very well balanced. You can move it up and down very easily. I'll put it in high gear now and we'll see how fast that is. So obviously you're not going to be snow blowing in 6th gear. That's way too fast. That's only for transport mode. But I'll tell you something. I did look at the tracked machines, and I asked a couple of people who have the tracked machines, and I'll show you the reason why I went with the tires in my situation. I've got a deck over here that I barbecue on, and I snow blow all of that, and I've got an elevation difference between, you know, my walkway here and my driveway. And I was told that if you go with the tracks, well, you know, it's very hard to maneuver, especially when the machine's not running, and I would have a very difficult time trying to load this in the back of a pickup truck or get over this step. I'll put it in first gear and we'll see how this crawls over this first step that many have told me a track machine would have difficulty with because you'd have to use so much leverage to lift it up with, where this here, no problem at all. Let's take a look at that next. Okay, so that crawled over that 5-inch step, no problem. I've never owned a machine with tracks. I was just told that better off to stay away from tracks if you want to, well, get over big steps or going over top of, you know, onto my deck or something like that, because the deck is about the same height, about up, and you'd have to apply so much leverage, right? So I'll just show you, like, this is so easy and balanced. I mean, that's 240 pounds. So I'll show you how easy it is to turn to go around, because what happens is with that differential in there and no trigger locks for wheels on either side, that differential in there, as you go to turn in one direction, it disconnects the other side. Makes it so easy to turn with. Now my other snowblower, my old one, it's got solid drive on both sides, so whenever you'd go to turn, it would fight you all the way. I'll show you how easy it is for this to turn, and well, for me it's the only way. I'd rather go with this than having them trigger locks. So I'll start it up. Let's take a look. Did you notice that this wheel wasn't turning? And you know, that's the whole, I think it's just the whole benefit of that that rear axle, how it disengages and engages. So when you're going straight, both wheels are turning. As soon as you indicate you want to turn left or right, well, the differential kicks in. So why would somebody need a machine that's 28 inches wide and a 21-inch bucket, all heavy duty? Well, I'll tell you something. My last snowblower, I've showed it on my channel many times, and it's a 5-horse Tecumseh. I bought that in 1994. I've maintained it since then, but about 2 years ago, we got a snowstorm here, 21 inches of snow, which was higher than the bucket. So I had to actually do my driveway and my neighbor's driveway about 6 inches at a time, because it was just way underpowered. And you know, with this crazy weather we're getting, you know, like it's really, really hot, really, really cold, a little bit of snow, a lot of snow. I mean, when I looked at some places, northeastern USA to Buffalo, Buffalo gets hammered all the time, 3 feet of snow, and I'm thinking, okay, so it's only a matter of time before I'm going to get like 2-3 feet of snow. What am I going to do with this small little machine that's probably going to puke its guts out right in the driveway when, you know, when it even looks at it? So I went with the Toro. I'm saying that the Toro or the Arands are my #1 and #2 pick. Interchangeable. They're both terrific. They both have different features. I wouldn't say one is better than the other, but I picked the Toro for the features that I liked. So thanks for joining me here today. I hope you found this informative. Come back again. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I know the answer, well, I'll do my best in answering. And if I don't know the answer, I'll just say I don't know. Come back again and see a channel that maybe you might not see some stuff on somewhere else. And have a little bit of fun along the way. Cheers.